So, continuing, we will call the president of the South American Football Confederation, Mr. Alejandro Domínguez. We give him a welcome. Of course, he will have his speech, welcome speech. A big applause for the president from the CONMEBOL, Mr. Alejandro Domínguez, in this fabulous seminar. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is a emotional, exciting moment for myself in particular to be here with you and enjoy as a participant of what we truly love, football. We would like to greet our legends today. We would like to welcome the legend of the football that are following us through streaming or in any ways. But even though today they are not following us or they are not connected, we would like to give them great welcome for this legend that go through this 120 years of the CONMEBOL history, a great acknowledgement for the job that they have done in the football history to be today the CONMEBOL that we have today, because football, our present football, was built many years ago with a great effort and the great capabilities that our athletes have shown through all the time, and we need to acknowledge them. So, warm welcome and thank you very much to all of them for their job, what they did and they continue doing for our football. The authorities in here present, thank you for the ones who are going to be speakers today. Thank you for your predisposition to everything that help us to be able to transfer and have the broadcasting of this football seminar that is from South America, but it has become something global. Each one that voluntarily do this, that they give us a hand for more people get notice about the activities from today, tomorrow, and what's the importance of this activity for us, for all of you, for the present, for the future of our coach in the South American footballs and globally. Saying this, 10 years ago from today, when we started our commitment with the South American football, to getting into the CONMEBOL building, show us a big, very big building, but it was empty inside. Believe me, unfortunately, what they didn't talk inside here and what you can discuss into the old CONMEBOL building, it was about football. I'm not saying because the environment, what I should say that we are gonna go into these details, but what we have found into the structure. And just to put you a graphic, it was an empty egg. It was both without a compass. It was a very big transatlantic that does not have a road map, a north. They didn't have a map that doesn't have a GPS. Then can let us know this is the football destination, the South American football destination. It was a very big vessel where the winds they we were under the ride and everywhere was a destination. We didn't have a goal. But I have a principle that I learned from football I will not teach, I just wanna share with you. I have two quotes that the football teach me one of them. To be a champion, you need to create the best team. If you have the best players, you can be a champion. And my other quote it is for myself. I always say this to myself: win. The winner is the one who most want to win. So the crisis is an opportunity. I criticize, but today it was in my position, and I think that today is in here with us to make us responsible from a very big institution. And I don't want to make this a discussion or getting into the political aspects. The football community in South America does not have borders. Doesn't matter if we are playing in the north of the continent or in the south of the American continent, the east, west. Doesn't matter if we are playing in the middle, in the center. The football has an only language that is the language of the ball. It doesn't matter who is playing if they are speaking Portuguese, Spanish, and other languages. What is truly matter is to play football. So we have a great responsibility to go over 400 million of people who love this sport because we are the continent that protects, love, play, enjoy, and show, teach the football to the world. We are the more monetized when we are talking in the history, when we are talking about the quality of our players, our women players, our referees, when we are talking about the passion of the fans, how we live the football. We are the best in that area. But as an organization, coming back 10 years ago, probably it was has a concept as the world's organization of football in the world, and without any doubt, it was true and it was well deserved because back then it was the most corrupt organization and confederation in the world. And we need to work because what means to be that never is going to change one day without looking for it. We were the responsible to be in front of the confederation. We have the great opportunity to transform the worst things, the bad things, in good things. And we realized then that in CONMEBOL, we need to take a different direction. We need to start working. It was not easy, the job. It will be challenging. It will be dangerous. And everything that of that happens, more than that. And explaining to you that some in a moment we have only one contract, and we depend that that contract was complied 100%, or the CONMEBOL will shut down. Imagine to have a confederation with all the cups in worldwide selection level with the cups we discussed. I am truly convinced that it's not only the greatest cup, but it's the oldest one. That is the CONMEBOL Libertadores Cup. Imagine the responsibility that a new team who didn't know the past, because everyone who trained into the CONMEBOL didn't have a great knowledge about the history that drives the CONMEBOL, the one who direct the CONMEBOL. From there on, when you take this position, you are as well responsible from the past, and you do not have time. You need to look for the future and start building. And I remember very well that in the measure that we were creating the plans of how we can rebuild the CONMEBOL, we realized that this was always a CONMEBOL that was giving the back to the steering one, to the protagonism. It was a closed door CONMEBOL who does not talk, but the words it doesn't even hear to the others. And if there is something that I learned from football, I think I'm the one who does not know everything. But what I learned in football, everyone knows more than the others. In the football, there is no one who can say, I know everything about football. This is the good thing of our sport that is transversal, is horizontal, and no one can take the title to be the one who knows everything about football. For example, the one who you do not expect give a great analysis or see a different point of view, and that's the good thing to have this opportunity. And back then, 10 years ago, we had an encounter with the coach here at CONMEBOL. And of course, I was kind of prepared to hear the start of what it could be, of course, a meeting to talk about football with a background of never performed this kind of discussion with people who has a lot of information to feed that who wants to share the word, people who was aiming to learn and as well to teach. So I think I believe I knew that it was gonna be an emotional lot at the beginning of all this because when you are not taking in account and you were the one who create, I'm not talking the first person, I'm talking about those coaches or professionals that have the kindness to come here, to come able to talk about football. They were World Cup player champions as coach, Libertadores, Sudamericana champions, America Cup, and they were never taken in account to have a conversation about football. What is South America? How do we play football in South America? What are the bases for South America to continue growing and to shorten, to get the distance shorter? So today I want to answer one of the people who is my personal idol. I will admit I enjoy when he was a world championship, Carlos Alberto Barreira, who at that complaint he said, President, it's not possible that the CONMEBOL does not call us that we want to give and was a great humble gesture when someone who win all these awards he said I want to give to the others probably for everything that he won he does not need to learn anything but the learning is an exercise and we need to continue improving but when someone who was a champion said to us why didn't they hear us why they didn't take us on account why just now and please tell me that from 0 to 18, back then it was the 18 coach who was in here, it was a great advance. But please, Neri, allow me to congratulate you because today we are not talking with 80 coach, we are talking for 66 countries. Today, we have the best speaker that the continent has. And with humble, I will say, but also sure that the best worldwide representative are the ones who will speak in this seminar. I'm not saying that they are the only one, but I'm meaning that you who will have the words, microphone, are the best representative of the world because the best football world world football is still playing here in South America. And I'm not gonna be based in just a phrase. I will sustain this that today no one can win us, that our players, men and women, are the one who put create a difference worldwide, and they make that other confederation are having a good stand in their football with the provision of our players who was born here in South America. So saying this, when we see that our players or you achieve and continue achieving in front of the adversities, because in South America we don't have the most advanced continent. But in CONMEBOL, we start with a vision, with a commitment, with a responsibility, and we knew what we have to do. That it was to get focused in football that make us. You were the one who created us, your history, the football. So we need to redirect to the football and only trust that the football, as a friend of mine said, Mr. Don Arturo Salah, that the only football is able to solve the football. And we start with an important criteria. Every time that I need to to make a decision, I have a team of people that is superior in capabilities. I only make a question: what is the problem that we need to solve? Because sometimes we tend to solve problem, but nothing changed. But which one is the main problem? We need to identify that problem, and if we can solve this, everything change. And that's how we continue building this new CONMEBOL, identifying the problems. If we solve this problem, we will be able to change. And you need to be humble to acknowledge that, luckily, other confederation as well, the FIFA have done this, and they have done this very well. Why I am saying this, not because we copy from them, because I am someone that I am able to copy the good things and to copy with proud. But in this case, it's not that we want to copy something, we identify which were the probable reasons why the football was not overcoming or making better. Remember, 10 years ago, we were a memory confederation because back then we remember that when Uruguay was a champion, when Argentina was a champion, when Brazil was the champion. In what year we won that cup? When we used to be club champion in the Intercontinental, but in the present, we didn't have anything to celebrate. So we continue working to make this more modern, change, and find the actual problems to solve. And we realized that it was so difficult for the teams, the ones who participate in the CONMEBOL Sudamericana and CONMEBOL Libertadores, to participate simultaneously in their local championship and as well in the continental championship. We done the changes, we provide the spaces, the time, we work with the whole confederation, with the 10 confederations, and we start working in the calendars. I know that there are limits, but we worked for the first time in the calendar together because we didn't want that a team who was working very hard to be the champion in in their country, they are not allowed to be a continental championship, calling with a different tournaments like CONMEBOL, Sudamericana, Libertadores. We want them to participate locally and internationally, and that doesn't mean a problem because that means if they were eliminated in one, it was so difficult the participation in the next edition or the next year. And there is when we start to open our different competition, we make it longer, and of course, That shows when we are just not looking the paper and we look outside the box, we were running backward. Why? Because the time has warned us, because there are other confederations that have identified this problem in their confederations and they solved it correctly and they have the sport results that made them to have advantage in front of us. And I love to compete. And I love to compete, especially with the one who do the things better than me, than us, because it's how you can learn, growing. And a CONMEBOL is a confederation that competes. And I have a healthy envy. I love to see people who are doing the things better than us. I love the people are doing better than us and doing well, because if they find a path, we could need to continue finding it. If they find a path, that means that we have a path as well. And once we found it, we need to accelerate and win to them. And that's how we create this new culture into the South American Confederation. We identify our mistakes, our errors, and changing and transforming, but far away from copying. That we need to admit there was people who were better than us, yes, but the results is not just a result of the casualty. Is the results are something that is coming from the things that we do. We cannot sit and criticize and say, oh, for the one that were before us, we are delayed, and everyone support that things because they have better opportunities. If we didn't do our thing, we will not be able to talk about the future and the past. And we have transformed CONMEBOL thinking that when, if we support the football, the other things will be a consequence. And in there, we inspire once again in this new logo that you know, the word of the CONMEBOL, without borders, because it's a bigger population in the world, in the continent, and with a footprint that shows that our football is unique. Why? Because how the football growth in South America was unnaturally formed. And I'm not gonna teach you, but I'm gonna talk to the one that perhaps does not know the history of all of you. You are were all, it was always a difficult moment. It was not easy. Anyone can find our best idols from the football till the next. And that's why our logo is believe big. This is our motto. Believe big does not is born from us. That logo, that motto was born from you. It's a summary that CONMEBOL has to say. Why are we inspired? Because history tells us from where we come and who arrived, the ones who didn't see the adversity, the ones who believe big, that adversity is just a test to show us that you are the best. Inspired in you, this logo has an identity, has a history to tell, and has a future to believe. To believe. Knowing the past, we can see the future. And I will repeat about the transformation that we have done as a confederation when we start all of these changes. That, of course, we have great critics. I would like to take the opportunity because I know there are members from the press today or following us through our channels because we heard We love to hear about you. And we do not always share your ideas, but we learn. We have great learners in the path, and we have heard a lot of criticism, but very valuable. Even though when your criticism may be from a subjective motivation, we have transformed all of these opinions in a value one because I repeat, we all know something about football. We find a data that I would love to share with you. You may hear me talk about this, or anyone who represents the CONMEBOL is that the finals, that of course, how we live those finals and who has the great opportunity to live or be part of a final from inside or different finals. We are a privilege to be able to live that moment. But as well, we realize that from every 10 finals, 7 won the team that was a local in the second match. So one of our pillars is to have sport justice, not only justice about the CONMEBOL, the history in the past, the present, the future, but the sport justice. We decided the fair is gonna be to do only one match, and we can play without the opportunity of other chance. You can have 90 minutes, 120, and a final with penalty. We want one opportunity, all or nothing. Always looking ahead, a place that guarantee us to be neutral. We have recently the occasion where we need to play the final in a stadium where one of the team play as a local, but thanks to this new final of the cup prediction, we can wall before and give the security that both teams that will play in equal conditions, not only in the field of the play, but in the whole environment. And we have transformed, and now we have some competitions that call the attention of the world. Today, we have finals that are broadcasting or streaming all around the world, not in the block countries that we know that we go there like in a gray way. We're right there. But it's true that South American football is valuable. People want to see the South American football. They know us. And aiming to the football is that we start to generate more resources. This is not a confederation. This president is not a president that is looking after money. We are an organization who is seeking the football and what generates their incomes. Of course, the commercial department, general directions that has it is doing a great work. All the ones here are great strategies, partners. I have a great friend and responsible of this, driving Diego Zanotti, the first victim of my president. And I can talk more about him to the General Secretariat, Jose Atigarraba, the Dr. Montserrat Jimenez, our General Secretary Deputy, and John's Secretariat. In the world, she is the first adjunct general secretariat, and of course, Mr. Neri Alberto Pompido, our football general secretariat. But talking about this is not just a confederation. People, to all of you, I don't want to miss someone. The CONMEBOL family, we were 60 and we were not able to get into that building. Today we are 260 people and we are all into there and we still have place. I would like to appreciate to all of you. But focusing back on what we were talking about to into the football, make us to have revenue that are different from the ones that I mentioned at the beginning of my speech. We were talking about it depends in only one contract. And in 10 years, and why I'm gonna mention the money, I repeat, it's important for two reasons. I'm gonna mention the money. First, because we are continue trusting in that the South American football will continue giving us stars, present and future stars. This will be naturally, but we cannot trust only in that the natural will be enough because all the other confederations are working and as well they compete against us. Perhaps it's not a motivation, but they compete against us and they are concerned about their future generation. And if we do not generate the resources and we do not reinvest in the places that we need to reinvest, we cannot only trust in the nature. We need to give our kids, our youth, the next generation, next coaches, next trainers, next, or the present as well. I'm saying this in a not generic way. Our physician, the medical staff, the whole football environment, we need to provide them accessibility and conditions, and this is only able to work redistributing the funds. And 95% of everything that comes into the CONMEBOL, we reinvest directly. The other 5% is I indirect invest. Today, this seminar has a cost, but is an indirect reinvestment inversion to the football. And if we do not do this, it's probably that our youth that have talents, are born with talent, they may search or they may be looking other continents or perhaps they get frustrated, but in this direction. In 10 years, we have achieved to distribute or reinvest as awards or assistance to the member association, the 10 from CONMEBOL and from the clubs that participate in our championships, over 3.3 3,200 million of US dollar with the goal, with additional objective to dignify the work of the people that has the football as a profession. South American. The South American should be recognized in a material way and that they should be feeling comfortable working in their team, acknowledged in a high recognition in their continent, and what this generates does not go in another destination, but they need to end in where it started, in you. I know that this is gonna be a long day as well tomorrow. I repeat my appreciation to everyone in here, my dear friends, people that when I was a kid, I admire, I continue admiring, and thank you, football, for giving me the opportunity to call them friends. Welcome to this seminar that probably is going to be the biggest in the world, but I'm sure that is the biggest of the South American football history. Congratulations, each one of you. And before saying goodbye, I would like to tell you that we are less than 60 days countdown for the World Cup. In 10 years, you have recovered all the cups that are played around the world. That recently we celebrated from the first time women's World Championship that was Brazil in futsal. That for the first time in the history in over 110 years, we will have a woman World Cup in Brazil. That for the first time in history, we will have 6 representatives in the World Cup that will start soon in the north of the continent. We are missing something that truly hurts me. I know that we are just about, but I have my great idol here, Felipe Luis, that's shown, and we are demonstrating the ones who make excuse that the money is the factor to be a champion, or that without lacking the money we cannot be champions. For everyone who used this excuse, with a great and different budget, we were to a penalty to step to one the intercontinental, and that's the most important. That's the reason of this meeting, to return to talk us about football. We have a lot of things to talk about, but first we need to remind us to start hearing. We need to talk again. We need to get a way to get together as a football society and find our identity and prove to the world that we know who we are, that we know what we want. That is not just a we, it is a group of people that just want to have fun. No, we love to have fun because no one has more fun in the football than us. But we do this in a professional, projected, managed, and program way because we have ambition. We want to continue providing the football and showing the football, and we want to continue having this competition in equal condition, but we need to be prepared inside and we need to be self-critics. If we do not take our space, no one will give this space. Of course, the people that are working in a planified way and consistently will take the places, the position, but we do not have to just talk about this. But if we do different things, if we manage, if we plan, and we work, we have the right to have an opinion and to believe. And now that we are just in a few days to start this World Cup, in where we are proud to be the continent. With Argentina, there are the World Championship. We are the champion that will go to defend and fight for that cup to stay in South America. I want to share a dream with you. And my dream is not only to win the Europeans, I love to win the Europeans. Who plays more? I have a dream that the final must be from two South American teams. And I think that's possible. So, with that, welcome. I truly appreciate and to our selection that will be representing us in the World Cup. You are gonna have us with you working hand by hand in anything that you may need. If you need a bottle of water, we are gonna be next to you to help you, to support you, because we want to win. And what we are showing today, if we get together, if we unify as a continent, if by separate we were invincible, if we are all joined together and we realize that we all talk the same language, what is waiting for us is a great future. So the door of our house is open to all the continent, to everyone who is following us. But the ball from now on, I will pass to you. Thank you very much. Have a great day.